tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Against Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Against Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hey volleybalfans, this is Laura Dijkema, national player of the Netherlands and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. Chance of freezing drizzle throughout the day. Otherwise, cloudy skies. National high near 34. Tonight, decreasing clouds with a low around 23. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies and a light breeze with a high near 45. I'm meteorologist Kyle Buck from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Coppell, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at CoppellCars.com to get true low country overhead in action. $12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Coppell. So please stop on in or visit us at CoppellCars.com. You'll be glad you did.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services, as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome back in to Ticket Weeknights. Harrison Arndt on the ones and twos, as always, on the corner of 1040 O Street on a icy, little bit of slick icy night out here on a Wednesday. We're going to talk some Nebraska hoops. We're going to talk some NBA. We're going to talk, we got time for some NFL as well. We got the host, as always, Good morning, Pierson-El streaming in. You guys can always put a face to the voice, Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo, channel 961. And as always, appreciate when you guys join in. 402-464-5685, Sarter Heyman text line. Good morning, Pierson-El. How's it going on a Wednesday?
It's going real well, trying not to be outside, slipping and sliding everywhere, It's not Hard Knocks, not Caleb Williams, not trying to learn how to slide.
Yeah, I figured out how to slide on my way in. I was caught victim there a little bit. Wasn't anticipating it. I thought there was good enough salt. Not there. Not on that part of the stretch. But nonetheless, as always, we're not going to talk about weather the entire time. We got Husker Hoops. We are going to have post game. It's going to be a very, very late post game because it's a West Coast game. So it'll be me, Austin Orman. Not sure about Eric Strickland, if he'll be streaming in or not, but tip-off's 9:30. They're playing Washington, another road game after they just beat ranked Oregon on the road. They stayed out there on the West Coast, and now they're going to go and play Washington. Washington currently sitting 11-10, 2-8 in conference play. Again, we could talk about, not that impressive of a record, yada, yada, yada. Winning on the road's tough. We see that consistently throughout the Big Ten, given the day, time, doesn't ever matter. It's just tough to win on the road. How are we feeling about this one?
Feeling well because, Washington, I don't want to say Washington's not a threat. I mean, they're a Division I program. They have people that can play basketball. But this is one of the situations to where you have to win. These are the games that you need to win. We're 14-8, so, you got to start stacking W's in the win column, and this is, a good way to continue to push for that.
Yeah, they got the, for Washington, it's not like a super deep team. Their best player, probably great nickname, by the way, Great Ozabor. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. I know it's how you pronounce the first name. But he's kind of their guy. Obviously, for Nebraska, it's a combination of certainly Bryce Williams, and then the scouting report is going to be looking at guys like what does Juwan Gary, Connor Season add to the point total as well. For me, this one, it's not, Washington is not a great offensive team. They're kind of in that same realm of Nebraska. They average about 71 points a game. This is a game for Nebraska. Double down on the defense being good. And I think you can get this Washington team really frustrated at home, and you just don't want to give them anything to cheer about. And the way they've kind of struggled on offense year round, it's a team that I think if you get out ahead, very similar to what teams have done to Nebraska, if you get out ahead of the Huskies, I don't think their offense is really good enough to climb back unless Nebraska just plays abysmal basketball. And we're talking turnovers, fast break points for Washington. To me, that's the key in this one's pretty simple. Keep doing what you've been doing on the defensive side of the ball, especially. And then offense, I'm just kind of hoping that team chemistry keeps clicking the way it has in these past two games.
Start off fast, get in rhythm. I think that helps them kind of playing with the league. If you start out slow, I'm a little bit nervous and whatnot. Don't just allow the other opposing team to get into a rhythm. We've seen that with Rutgers. We've seen that with who else came? SC. SC got in a rhythm, and that kind of situation happened and whatnot. So again, you're playing, that Pac-12, sorry, new old version, Pac-12. You're playing that type of style ball. So just understand what the assignment is, and just kind of be dominant early and often. Smoke them out early, and I don't want to say coast to a win, but have a dominating showing in a win.
Yeah, and it's for Nebraska too. You think you nailed it with you just don't want to start slow, because that Oregon game in particular, just going back to the very last one, Nebraska did a good job dictating the pace. It wasn't like they were putting a bunch of crazy coverages. They weren't like pressuring Oregon really hard. All they're doing is just playing really fundamental, methodical basketball. They rarely, if they were pushing the ball, it was off of a turnover. They weren't just running up and down the court just to run up and down the court. They're being very methodical with their offense, sticking to their defense. And that Oregon just fell right into it. For whatever reason, they could not get their momentum. They couldn't play the style of ball they wanted. Eventually, Oregon gets wise, and they're like, okay, we're just letting Nebraska do what they want. They're comfortable on our home court. Then you saw Oregon make a run with a lot of those full court pressures. Nebraska starts throwing some sloppy turnovers. Luckily, we got in the half. Nebraska's able to adjust. But if Oregon would have been wise to start that earlier, they might have actually gotten that lead before that first half ended. Nonetheless, though, Nebraska did what they needed to early on by getting ahead. Oregon did some things to tweak it, but it was already too late. To me, that's the same thing with Washington in an even bigger scale. It's the same thing I said before. Washington's offense, given it's basketball, some nobody can have their night from the 3-point line, and because of the way basketball's played today, that can be a difference maker. But if they're playing to their averages, yeah, you do what you do on the defensive side of the ball. They're not going to be able to compete offensively, and now especially late game stretch. How confident are you that Nebraska's kind of figured out how to close out close games? It's been similar for football. That's always been the conversation. Basketball, it's been then that 6-game losing streak, but they got 2 in a row. Well, they're proven they can come out on top in some close ones.
They have that skill. It's just a matter of time of it showing up. I don't want to say everything has to be right for that to happen, but enough people have to have their hand and do their part in it. If that happens, yeah, I'm a lot more comfortable with it. Or if they start slow or they look sloppy or just they don't look like themselves and everything like that, then that goes down a bit. But we've seen on multiple occasions when it's a good team where they feel like they need to bring it, they close them out. UCLA, Oregon, Illinois. So we've seen it, and I know it's there. It's just what team is going to show up that night.
Yeah, and I'm confident that the right team is going to be showing up here, in particular with guys like Bryce Williams. I think maybe at times it's a little too critical of him at that point guard position. He's really done a great job down the stretch here, getting better and better. And of course, Ulis is coming in and getting some more minutes as well to help. Not necessarily the biggest impact on the stat sheet, but it does provide a little bit of room for Bryce Williams to get off of that role and just work off the ball at moments. Bryce Williams, though, he's kind of been the guy late in the games. Like, it feels like we have that guy. I was too critical.
He's been the guy the whole season, not just late in the games.
There was some, in terms of, has been the guy all season, but now late in the games, like that was always kind of where I was wondering, like, I like Bryce Williams, but he was really having a hard time just getting his shot off. We saw a few turnovers in that late game stretch late. But in these past few games, he's stepped up to the moment over and over. In overtime, his last overtime win, he got 8 of his 28 points in that overtime. To go ahead and push that away and put zero doubt that Illinois was not going to beat Nebraska at home that day. So a lot of it, I give my, credit to Bryce Williams. He's been phenomenal. He's getting Big Ten Player of the Week awards, rightfully so. Are you surprised at all to see Bryce Williams kind of having the stretch he's having right now? We talked about him being one of the most important players, but it's starting to look really good, and he's getting the eyes of scouts at this point.
No, I'm not surprised. I mean, I think he kind of figured things out last year, and ending the season, he knew his role would be increased more. We could have seen this at an earlier stage, but the team and their makeup last year necessarily didn't cause for it. So I'm not surprised or anything like that. He's getting the opportunity to show what he can do. And, I mean, he's hit it out of the park just about at every turn. So you kind of wanted this with getting a guy like that. And I feel like, he's filled those shoes. He stepped up in a major part, and night in and night out, he shows up. Now it's just like I said, he's getting an opportunity for the nation to see it. It's not a Tamanaga type team or a Rink Mass type team and everything like that. It starts and ends with him, and he's showing what he can do and putting his name in a hat for the next level to be something contributive to a NBA team.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of role is it, like a Brandon Ingram in the NBA if he is going to make that jump? Because we got guys, Bolano Banton, Bryce McGons. We're doing well, Fred Hoiberg, and actually getting guys to the league that can represent the University of Nebraska and just kind of prove like you can go pro and play at this university. When you look at a guy like Bryce Williams, what's kind of the personnel you see or a role that he would do well in the NBA?
I think it's definitely going to have to be a defensive riser. Like I think he's going to have that, which he does. That 3-2 range, that interchangeable guard here and there. But you got to watch out for three because, I mean, Kevin Durant is a three. You know what I mean? Not everybody's Kevin Durant. But a skillful transitional player in between. I don't want to say a hybrid, but that 3-2 type position to kind of get the ball on the wing, pull up, or maybe get into a post position and kind of abuse things. And hopefully he's quick enough on the defensive side to create steals or create turnovers, to create energy, or create something starting off, turning defense into points. Hopefully, I think is where his niche will be at. I don't think it's going to be a person that you want bringing up the ball or anything like that, or he's not necessarily a true shooting guard that's going to be shooting your lights out. So he's a hybrid position, so he's going to have to go back and forth between 2 and the 3.
Yeah, and for me, like, the thing is with him is he's got getting better and better, and just adding those tools in his back to get the open looks. I'll put a weird comparison. Like when you watch Bronny, the problem with Bronny isn't like his inability to get open, it's just his shooting. Bryce Williams, he has figured out that ability to get open. And yeah, go ahead.
He would have to be like along the levels of a Sean Livingston.
That's a good
with the Warriors, like that type of energy. Sean was a mid-range threat, and he was a defender. So you knew what you were getting. You knew he can get you guaranteed buckets. He was a high-value energy guy on defense, creating turnovers, pushing the break, and everything like that. Like that, like someone like that, I think would be ideal for him at the next level.
That's a great comparison because Sean Livingston is so underrated. After that injury, he was integral for the Warriors winning those rings. It wasn't just the defense. I mean, you're right. The mid-range, big-time shots, big-time moments. Sean Livingston was that guy. And a lot of it was post-injury. He had to find a way to reinvent himself. And he did a lot of that through the mid-range. He realized, like, with his height, that's a bucket for him. And on defense, we see that with Bryce Williams here in Nebraska. Like, his defense is getting better as the year goes on, too. It was good, fell a little bit in that 6-game losing streak. Fred Hoiberg kind of challenged it, and he's answered really well. And he's been playing phenomenal defense and big part of the winning. So, yeah, I like that comp for Sean Livingston. That's certainly one I can see, simply just that mid-range shot-making ability. Even if a guy's in the face, like those guys just knock down shooters. They got that touch. I want to talk a little more hoops, but not necessarily Nebraska basketball. Well, still Nebraska. Thoughts on Omaha, not Creighton, making the March Madness tournament. Right now, in bracketology, they're slotted at that 16 seed for the 68, 68 bracket as a play-in team. But we might actually get 3 schools out of the state of Nebraska into March Madness. Omaha, I think they're sitting in right now to be comfortable. They probably got to go out and win their conference, but there's a legitimate chance that Omaha might make March Madness. And I will say this, it would really be a burner if they won a March Madness tournament before we did if they get in. But I just thought that was crazy. And shout out to Omaha for doing so. I've seen the videos of their coach kicking trash cans. I know it's been kind of a magical run for him. Did not realize it was getting this magical, but they're currently sitting at a 16 if the season ended today by some projections.
That's good for them. The three schools in one state. That'd be excellent. All parties are invited and whatnot. That would be something I would like to see, but that definitely would hurt if they did get a win before we did.
It would hurt so bad. But I'd go to the parade. I'd be like, you know what? If this is as close as I'm going to get, I'm 25. I don't want to wait anymore. Yeah, I'm just going to go to the damn parade and celebrate and act like that was the team I was rooting for all year long. But no, shout out to the Mavericks. I was kind of caught off guard by that. I was going through, we're at the point in the season, we're going to go through the projections, and I was like, there's no way that we're talking the same Omaha team because they started off the season rough. I mean, at one point in time, they lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They won, lost 2, lost 2 in a row. And then they got into the stretch where they're just not losing games. And they've put themselves in this position with some really impressive wins, to make a run. And even some of their bigger games, when I was talking about in that losing streak, like, yeah, they lost to Minnesota. They lost to them by 3. This is a good team that can punch up with Division I programs. So it's not like, yeah, this Omaha team's just living off of a weak schedule. They've been punching up when they've had opportunities. So I did want to say that. Shout out to the Mavericks on what could be a season where they actually make it to the dance. And, who knows? Even win one thing. Real quick here, just since we're talking about the bracket, right now, they do have the last four in. Nebraska at probably that 10th spot, along there with San Diego State, BYU, Pittsburgh, Nebraska officially the last team in. And then the first four out, UCF, Xavier, Arizona State, USC, ironically, as they beat us at home. And then the last four byes, Utah State, Ohio State, Vanderbilt, and Georgia. That's how it's sitting right now. I will say this, though. The teams this year I'm looking at is Auburn. Is this the year for Auburn to go and reclaim their throne? Because UConn, it's been a bit of a down year for them. And they've been strong. It's kind of been the favorite. It feels like, hard to pick the guy who's going to win it all. But Auburn looks a lot better than most of the programs out there. And it's certainly not the year that I was expecting from UConn.
I mean, you never know. Like you play so many games and you have to bring in, every night. How many Kentucky national championship teams should we have seen with all the NBA players on their starting five and on their bench that, didn't get there? So is Auburn a strong team? Yeah, but you still got to go through the gauntlet. And it's about, what teams are kind of hitting that stride and, are putting themselves in a different category, than everybody else. And it just, it's all about matchups. So could they make a run deep? Yeah. Could they win it? I mean, I'm not so sure. UConn can, snap out of things and have everything situated. They've been in that situation before. That coach has done it before. And, they just get back to them and they click at the right time. And, oh, no, look out, the boogeyman's coming for you. So I would have to see, Auburn play like 2 rounds before I really feel comfortable saying, oh, yeah, no, they can get it.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll see what they look like because there is always that pressure. You saw Virginia when they had the first 1 seed to lose to the 16th seed, and it's becoming more and more prevalent. When you're that team, that pressure's a lot. And it felt like it even got UConn before the season started because they started taking some losses. Dan Hurley started freaking out at the press conferences, and the team's still good. They're still probably going to make a run for the dance, but not necessarily the favorite. Auburn, this is going to be a unique round for them and this staff to be the team favorite in it right now. Clearly the favorite to be that first 1 seed in the March Madness tournament. Outside of college hoops, last thing on basketball in this segment, NBA, Jimmy Butler really making it hard to trade him. We are getting to the point where the trade deadline's coming up here. Is Jimmy Butler still heat by the time trade deadline hits?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. Jimmy's not going. He's
not budging, and other people aren't giving up an arm and a leg with what he's talking about giving. So I mean, I think the Heat are just going to have to bite the bullet, and we'll see. After the season.
Yeah, we'll wait. I mean, tomorrow is the deadline, the 6th. So I'm just checking right now to see if there's any other trades that are sneaking through the radar as we're talking about it right now. And there was some trades today that did go through real quick here because they're not massive ones. Thunder, I love these trades. They're always a little bit painful. Thunder received Daniel Tice, 2031 second round pick. Pelicans received cash considerations. Not great. And then yesterday we didn't talk about it. But the Mavs received Caleb Martin. Sixers received Quentin Grimes in 2025 second round pick. And then there were some other picks we're not going to talk about, mainly just swapping around conditional picks. Not a whole lot there. Still disappointed. The Bulls, I think, are kind of dead in the water. They don't have anything left. The Warriors is interesting. What's going on there where nobody wants to play for the Warriors? They are asking all the superstars and they're just getting shut down. But nobody wants to go up
nobody
there.
Nobody want to go to California and pay them taxes.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
I mean that's a piece of it, and then I don't think it's necessarily that superstars don't want to go there, but you want to go to a place where you're the first option. Like they clearly have put out a list and fillers of dudes that they want, and then okay, well if we don't get him, your fallback person, and I think that's where they're getting themselves in trouble.
Breaking news here, just informed by one of my producers. Shout out Jackson. I'm looking for the info on it. Jimmy Butler just traded to the Warriors.
Well, there you have it. What are they getting in return?
I'm trying to find it right now. It must have just went through. But while I get that, the info on that one. Okay, this was 7 minutes ago. I'm gonna get the details. What did you just think about that fit? And we'll talk about what the entire trade was. We might not get all the details too, because it looks like this was just minutes ago. Is this what they
Golden State for Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Kyle
Schroeder? Yeah, Kyle. And I got it now. And a
first round pick.
That's a good deal.
I mean, it gives the Warriors a fighting chance. He's going to bring a different mentality. You can have Steph run around and kind of just shoot, and Jimmy can kind of be the bully and get things done. I mean, it sucks to lose Wiggins, but Wiggins hasn't been the same since the whole situation and the family issues and everything like that. So I mean that saga's over.
Yeah, I will say good job by the Heat. You needed to do something. I'm surprised that Jimmy did decide to say I didn't think he was going to fold, but he must have folded and was like, all right, I'll go play for the Warriors. But like, if you're the Warriors, now I'm just worried about like, what do you got for role guys that can fill that void? Because it has been kind of rough sledding with their draft picks as of late. They haven't necessarily done.
But Jimmy's going to raise the level of everybody though. We've seen that everywhere he's went. Like, he's made the team tougher. You got a new person, coming in there. He's not necessarily going to go at Steph. But he'll do his part, and everybody around him will raise their game or whatnot. So I'm not too worried about role players. And Steve Kerr, he's a multi, finals champion as a player and a coach. Like, he'll find a way. He'll figure it out.
I think I'm with Jordan P on the text line. No. Warriors blew it. I don't know. I get why you like Jimmy Butler. I don't know. It's like
he gives you a chance for this year. Like, it's like, all right, unless he signs a year deal with them, which I don't see him doing or whatnot. I mean, but he gives you a better predicament than you were in.
Yeah, it gives you a fighting chance. I just don't know how worth it that fighting chance was. But at the same time, you're gonna sink in the ship, or you're gonna
you're saying that, and Jimmy Butler took the Heat to a finals and was pushing Boston, and that was pretty much the team that Boston, I would say, not feared, but gave some headaches to, and he doesn't really have anybody overly crazy on that team down in Miami. So
I'm gonna keep saying this. I get it. It is a cool story with Jimmy Butler and that he made it to the finals. It's not that we're not seeing that again, and I'm totally adamant on that because that team was. I have to keep going on this rant. It is so rare. And yes, Jimmy Butler was the dog in some of those games, but it was not every game that they were the reason they won. That team went from the bottom of the barrel 3-point shooting to magically one of the best 3-point shooting teams in that entire playoff series. Now, you can give Jimmy Butler credit for some of the defense stuff, getting the team fired up and some big moment shots in some of those games. But the rest of the team, unreal shooting numbers that came out of nowhere. So that's why I'm never worried about, like, maybe we'll see it again. It is such a rare thing, and I'm never going to equate that to being like
the Heat aren't the same threat with Jimmy gone. You don't even look at them the same. So
no, but they got what you said. Players, and they got to pick with it. That ship was sinking, so the Heat needed to. I'm more like,
I get what you're saying, but they still don't scare you. They still, I don't think with Jimmy they had a chance against Boston. Now without him, I mean you go back to being Boston's little brother.
I'm just not. I'm not sold that this makes the Warriors that much better to where it's worth it. Like, yeah, you get Jimmy Butler, but you give away pick and you give away some role players. Maybe you could give away some of those guys who got more picks for it, or a different star.
Who are you gonna get?
Not Jimmy. Picks.
What if Jimmy's style of basketball is necessarily what you need? Steph is not blowing past people like he used to or whatnot. Jimmy can get you.
No, Steph still is. I mean, he's still
blowing, but him blowing past people is not his game. That's never been his game. And that's what I'm saying. Jimmy can slow the pace down. You can work your offense and everything like that. People might lose sight of Steph. Steph can get, 5 to 8 more, if that's contested shots or, open shots to where he doesn't have to, go to the basket, take, a hard foul or whatever. He's just on outside, just strictly squaring up. Jimmy can get you penetration in the bucket. You can pitch it out to Steph or whatever, knock down three.
Is it good enough to beat the Warriors or the Nuggets though, or the Lakers now?
Again, you're not making it's not making a finals. I don't think that pick makes them if they're in the East, yes. But the West is too stacked for them for that move. But who else were they going to get to really do something this year?
I know, but it's like, do you just fill out paperwork to say you did something that day? It feels like it's a lateral move.
I mean, the GM was mad, or the owner was mad and wanted to make a move. So This was the move. This moves, I think, would get you to be in, a playoff team with 30 games left, probably, if you take care of business.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, for this trade, this isn't in the book of shame of trades. This is not the Luka and Lakers trade for me. That one's still just. I'm still so shocked that you weren't as repulsed by that trade as I was. Like, if you're, again, like going back to Adam Silver, if you're the owner of the league, that's almost one where you take the responsibility. I mean, like, what the hell are you doing? You've got a massive
minding your business, exactly what you should be doing.
Well, I'll tell you what, when they shut down the Kobe Bryant, Chris Paul trade, what the hell was that?
Him not minding his business.
Well, I'm just saying, like, felt like if we're going to use that rule, we totally wasted it with Kobe and Chris Paul. But this one, we're like, yeah, we'll let that slide. Mavericks, it's just unique. And I honestly feel bad for Anthony Davis, because like that is a bizarre situation to be in. I am curious to see what, Luka does for the Lakers. We've talked about that before. We won't talk about it more, but that's kind of the synopsis on the trade. A little bit of breaking news there. Shout out to Jackson, the ticket intern, for giving me the info. But Jimmy Butler is now a Warrior, and we'll see. He's made people eat crow before. I might be wrong on it, but I'm gonna stick to my guns. I don't like the move for the Warriors. We'll have to wait and see, though. We'll throw it to break. Don't go anywhere. Don't Punt Hour with Morning Pierson-El.
Ready to spruce up your space? No matter what project is on your list, you can check it off at the Nebraska Builders Home and Garden Show, February 7th through the 9th at the Sandhills Global Event Center. With over 200 businesses under one roof, you'll find the latest in home innovations and experts to handle your dream projects. Admission is just $10, and children 12 and under are free. For more information, visit the Home and Garden Show online at hbal.org.
The Jerky Bowl has kicked off at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska. From now until halftime of the big game, every online order gets you entered into their incredible giveaway. The grand prize is a 30-bag jerky sample pack, $225 value, while second place is a 15-bag sample pack, while third place is a Be Mine jerky box. Perfect for Valentine's Day. Order now at smokinggunjerky.com, and if you enter promo code EARLY, you'll not only get 10% off your order, but also be entered twice for the drawing. It's the Jerky Bowl at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretexcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation, and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Cobble, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area, with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at cobblecars.com to get true low country overhead in action. $12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Cobble. So please stop on in or visit us at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934, and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off. Mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934. HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Doren. God bless you.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com, because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. Chance of freezing drizzle throughout the day. Otherwise, cloudy skies. National high near 34. Tonight, decreasing clouds with a low around 23. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies and a light breeze with a high near 45. I'm meteorologist Kyle Buck from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey volleyball fans, this is Laura Dijkema, National Player of the Netherlands, and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
Stop asking your friends if they're hosting a party this Sunday and come for the real party instead. Join 93.7 The Ticket for the big game at Wings and Rings at 68th and O this Sunday and walk away with great prizes just for showing up. Why worry about making a great spread of food for the game at your house when you can enjoy all the great wings and more at Wings and Rings? It's the big game party with 93.7 The Ticket at Wings and Rings this Sunday at 68th and O.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, Demorne Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back into Don't Punt Hour. Just had some breaking news here on the last second. Jimmy Butler, now a Golden State Warrior, and the trade was actually a three-team trade as we're getting more and more details about it. So the Pistons also involved in this one. Warriors' Lindy Waters III and Heat's Josh Richardson are headed to the Detroit Pistons. So we're going to, obviously get more details as this thing comes through. So this was a three-team trade. Pistons doing a little bit of work themselves as well. And now for the Miami Heat, is this the last step for them in this trade, or you think they got one more up their sleeve? Kevin Durant?
I think they got one more. I think they got one more up their sleeve. They're not done. You got some pieces. You got Jimmy gone and everything like that. Now you can open up the floor. What now you know what things are and you know what you can do. So I don't think they're necessarily done.
Yeah. Do you think? I don't know if the possibility of this, but could they go and grab Kevin Durant?
Does Kevin Durant really want to move? Does he want to go down to South Beach?
He seems like he wants out. He didn't want to go to the Warriors, that's for sure. I don't know if he'd want to go to South Beach. Maybe.
I mean, is South Beach a better situation than where you at right now?
Taxes is probably about the same. Weather's probably about the same.
You at the beach, so I mean, the different. Like I mean that's the same. That's the same shit.
Well, one's got sand and water, and one's just got sand. So
I mean, you got lakes out there. You got water.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not sure what Kevin Durant really wants. He's a unique human being, to say the very least. So I wouldn't be surprised by anything of that man if he ends up going to the Heat. If the Heat have the cap space, I'm not even sure what they all have after that trade because they're absorbing some of that Warriors contracts. Another unique thing about this Jimmy Butler trade, thinking, he was just going to take the deal and bounce, but it sounds like it's also going to be taking a 2-year extension with the Warriors. So this is going to be a one and done. Thoughts on that? It's at least 2 years, with Butler and Curry. It's not going to go anywhere.
That's something you can build around. You can pull and pluck, a few pieces, sign a few free agents, or move around. That's not too bad. You can make a splash. I think making the playoffs this year, maybe to the second round, will probably be a good goal. And then if you can build off of that, falling into the next year, you've probably got what you wanted out of the Jimmy Butler deal.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit sweeter for me on the Warriors then. I'm still not super. It still feels like a very lateral move, but the fact they got him at least for 2 years makes me feel better that you got rid of some of those guys and a pick for just, a 1 year deal there. So Jimmy Butler, 2-year extension. I think it does sweeten the deal a little bit for the Warriors and maybe makes sense. And then also on top of this, looking at what the Warriors got, I'm not sure how they're entirely involved in this thing from getting the Warriors Waters the third, and then Josh Richardson from the Heat, also just for clearing up cap space. But nonetheless, very interesting move. Might be down for one big one left here before tomorrow. One other big quote unquote superstar trade, but I think the Waters are pretty much calm. Jimmy Butler was the one that was getting the headlines every single day, and he's finally a Warrior, so we don't got to talk about that. Kevin Durant's the other one, and like I said, I'm not entirely sure what he wants to do, and he might actually stick it out there in the Phoenix Suns. And since we're on the NBA and we're talking about these trades and we see some of these trades go down, let's take a peek at the West now. So now that we know where the Warriors are at, they're sitting there at the 10th. They're 25-24. Really, the record's not that bad, just playing in the Western Conference. So they're in the play-in. Jimmy Butler on that squad. You like a lot more than me. How much you want to bump their final season standing at? They're sitting at the 10 right now. And again, you have to go all the way up.
Playoffs is what? They start at the 7th seed?
Playoffs is 8 through 11 is going to be your quote unquote play-in.
I think they can get to 8.
I mean, really, they can get to 7.
Who's the two teams in front of them?
Well, this is why it's crazy, right? And they can make a run. Suns 25-24, same record. Kings 25-24, same record. Timberwolves to get out of the play-in 27-23. They're only 2 games ahead. So if they go on a run with Jimmy Butler,
I think, the whole we've seen with the Suns. I'm not confident in the Suns to make the playoffs. We've seen that merry-go-round. Not worried about that. The Kings, Levine is not going to do it. I don't think they have enough. So not too worried about them. As long as the Warriors take care of what they what they can and whatnot, and handle business and play, these last 30 games lights out and go, 20 and something, you have a chance. Minnesota makes me a bit nervous, but they might have last year's Blues still, tripping off of last season. So they can get there.
Yeah, I think they'll certainly make it. It's just like, can they avoid the play-in? Because, they lost to the play-in last year. A little bit shocker to probably Warriors fans. It's just been weird. They had that year where they didn't even make the playoffs. They wake up and they go win the championship. Then they fall off again. And then they lose in the first round of a play-in versus, I believe it was the Kings. And the Kings wrecked them. It wasn't really close. So I think Jimmy Butler, maybe you get some of that toughness. Other teams in this mix, Lakers, they're sitting actually pretty good at 29-19 at that 5th spot. They're out of the play-in. We've talked about the trade a lot, but how much better is this team and Luka, and are they fit to make a finals run here?
I don't think this year. You lost AD. I think that was you were building around him. LeBron would play off of him sometimes, so I'm not expecting a deep playoff run with them. Now, let them scheme and add some pieces and kind of, figure out what's the best way. Let Luka operate with only him on the floor to kind of get him his extra touches, and then you sprinkle LeBron in there around to kind of increase that. I'm not expecting a deep playoff run this year. Luka was already hurt. We'll see how his calf strain goes for the rest of the season and see what his availability is. into the postseason, but I'm not high on them right now.
No, which teams are the better question? Which teams are you high on? Like you're like, well, watch out, and like OKC they're so good again, but we saw what happened last year in the playoffs in particular. So like that's the team where I want to pick, but I'm still hesitant. 39-9 record though is incredibly impressive in the West, especially the Grizzlies being at 34-16, and then the Rockets 32-18. I mean that's 1, 2, 3. You're looking at Thunder, Grizzlies, Rockets, 3 teams that you never would have picked at the beginning of, well,
people not even talking about the Grizzlies like that. Like they're gonna be, you're gonna have to watch out for them.
Or the Rockets. I mean the Rockets are 32-18.
I think they're still a young team, but they remind me of OKC before OKC started doing what they're doing now. Like they're right there knocking on the door.
Yeah, and then on the flip side of it, and again, this is why I got on my Bulls rant the other day. You look at what the Cavs are 40-10. Young team did it through picks. Celtics 36-15. Young team did it through picks. And then as they got better and better, they started getting some veterans, but originally started with picks. Knicks 34-17. They did a little bit more trades, but you're seeing the best teams in the NBA right now really be organic. And you can even argue the Suns because their superstars, the guy they drafted, Jamal Murray, Jokic, like they're building from youth and keeping guys around, and continuity is becoming more and more valuable in a league of NBA superstars just constantly wanting in and out the door. So I think that you're finding that keys to success. So even a young Rockets team, just because they're young, they have continuity still, though. They play well together. And I just think that always gets overlooked in the NBA because they're quote unquote pros. But I actually think we've come to see a lot of these NBA teams don't have the best chemistry. And then when you actually have some teams that know how to play around each other, like the Rockets,
they get rid of them.
Yeah. Well, look at the Lakers, what they did with all their glue guys. I'm surprised they haven't traded Austin Reeves yet. Like Alex Caruso made no sense. Go ahead and trade him. Like you saw that with the Bulls. Then the Bulls traded him. Why? And then you know who's thriving with him? OKC. Because they're like, yeah, this is a great role player who plays great defense, does just enough on offense. Why would we get rid of him? So that's always the thing that bothers me when we're talking about the Bulls and their inability to get picks, because that's how you do it now. To say all that, just to say, though, can any of those young teams I just described win the whole thing? And I'll let you throw Memphis in there because they are still
it'll be tough. I think you still got to go through Boston, and Boston is a freight train. I'm not sure any of those teams are ready for that just yet in a Game 7 series.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Because Boston's going to come out of the East. I mean that's just what it is. Like I'm not worried about they don't have to play their best to get to the finals.
No, and you see that. And I'm gonna piss you off real quick before we end the break here, just because I know you're gonna probably disagree with this. You know what I love about the Cavaliers a lot too, and why their record at 40-10 is not only great, why they deserve the hell out of it is you see those guys play every single game. DeMarne Pierson-El. Load management does not exist in the Cavs organization.
They don't have enough firepower. Are they a good team? Yes. You're not messing with Boston. You're not. You might get 2 games. Good luck. Here's your participation award. Like, yeah, you're a good team in the East. You're not getting past Boston.
Boston's really good. I'll give you that much. Boston is clearly the challenge in the East once again after they not necessarily dominant, but as it went on through that playoff, it got more dominant with Boston Celtics. So yes, Cavs impressive. I will agree with you. The East still goes through Boston until somebody beats that team. They are just incredibly deep, and Jason Tatum looks like he remembers what everybody said during the Olympics. So we'll go to break on that. Don't go anywhere. Don't Punt Hour with DeMarne Pierson-El.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
National players and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
Landmark Implement, your John Deere dealer, invites you to their annual sprayer clinic at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney on February 5th and 6th. This hands-on event offers expert training on John Deere and Hagie sprayers, covering topics such as machine maintenance, spray tip selection, and exact apply technology. New this year, classes on autonomy preparation, see and spray, and variable rate operation. Don't miss this opportunity, February 5th and 6th in Kearney. Learn more at landmarkimp.com/events.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started. Husker fans, this season, Nebraska is celebrating 50 years of Husker women's basketball, and they need you to help celebrate. You've shown up for women's hoops from the start and continue to prove that Nebraska fans really are the best in the nation. On Sunday, January 26th, the Huskers face Big Ten opponent Ohio State, and they're calling on all Husker fans to help pack PBA so they can celebrate 50 years of Husker women's hoops together. Get your tickets now and be a part of this historic season. For event and ticket information, go to huskers.com/tickets.
Having diabetes doesn't have to ruin your new year. Join a Nebraska-supported program like Living Well with Diabetes. You'll learn how to manage your symptoms, feel more confident, and reduce stress about your diagnosis. Search Nebraska Living Well with Diabetes and click on the DHHS Healthy Living Programs page to learn more. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment of the Don't Punt Hour. Talked a lot of NBA, some breaking news in the NBA. Again, just for catching anybody who's just hopping in the car and who enjoys watching the NBA, Jimmy Butler is now a Golden State Warrior. Three-way trade between the Miami Heat, Detroit Pistons, and of course the Golden State Warriors, where Jimmy Butler not only signed there, but took a 2-year extension with the Warriors as well. So if you're a Warriors fan, you got him for more than just 1 year. Good morning, Pierson-El. Since we've talked so much hoops tonight, we're just going to put football off the table. We're going to dive all on that tomorrow because obviously Chiefs Eagles will be the last time we get to talk about it before we actually see what happens. But I want to hear your unsung heroes of the NBA, or give me an NBA player who is just not appreciated in the league. And 402-464-5685, you guys can join in on us too. And he can be a superstar that you just think, for whatever reason,
Donovan Mitchell.
That's a good one.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah. That's unfortunate problems of a small market team.
Utah was a small market as well.
Yep.
He was dominant there. I don't think I don't think Spider gets what he deserves. Like, he gets overlooked a lot, but he's a problem.
But he's leading the number 1 team in the West, or excuse me, in the Eastern Conference. And we just talked about how intimidating the Celtics were. Well, the Cavs, they don't just have the lead. They could, go on a losing skid here and not lose not even bat an eye. Like, they're sitting pretty, and a big part of that is Donovan Mitchell. That's a great answer, because that guy.
Who was you going to say?
This guy, I just, on his way out, it's just one of the most unfortunate things I've ever seen is DeMar DeRozan. He's not going to get the love he deserves when he retires.
And he should.
Yeah, and now he's over there with the Kings. And I thought they're going to make that work, Darren Fox, DeMar DeRozan, Sabonis. I thought they're going to try to build that up, and it's like they're kind of already stripping it down again. So that just sucks because I love DeMar DeRozan's game. Anytime you got a mid-range, that's like watching Bryce Williams is so fun. I love those type of players that just doesn't matter if it's their type of night. They're those type of shooters. And he's a guy where, I just always thought he's going to at one point land on one of these superstar teams.
And knock it off.
Yeah, I thought he was one of those guys that, I don't know actually how this goes, but you always hear the supposed stories like LeBron James and like they're talking to guys. Like, are you guys just not inviting DeMar DeRozan? He would be so great on a team where it would be, you don't have to say the 1, but he's a guy that played that quote unquote 2 role better than anybody else. So I'd throw him, even though he does get recognized and he is a favorite for a lot of people. He's going to go underappreciated when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Any more? You want to give the flowers out right now?
I think Drew Holiday is like that.
Yeah, that's another good. But the Celtics, what he did for those guys last year was
the Pelicans. The Pelicans way back when.
Yeah, he was at a point in time there, you really thought AD and Drew Holiday might be that duo. I mean, you could say at one point in time that was the best defensive guard and center duo you were going to run into, with AD protecting in the rim. If you get past Drew Holiday and go at the rim, you're going to run an Anthony Davis. Drew Holiday, and just to add on to Drew Holiday, because I actually like that more. That guy gives more than like anybody else in the NBA. He is an insane contributor to his own communities, so he's just like a great guy overall. So definitely Drew Holiday, a good one. A guy that's just like, I don't know why, seems to be going under the radar. Still gets highlight reels all the time, but we talked about it. Like, the Memphis Grizzlies are incredible. And I just haven't heard very much about any of them or that team. So the entire Memphis Grizzlies squad this year, for whatever reason, they're not getting a whole lot of praise. We'll go ahead and wrap things up here. Good morning. You got any last guy?
No, I think I'm good. I think I tapped out there.
Yeah, no, straight. Drew Holiday's a great guy to end on. That's going to do it for us. Malone Radio Show up next. Good morning, Pierson-El. Appreciate the time as always. Tomorrow, we'll talk to Super Bowl. Don't go anywhere.